The room went quiet when Caitríona Balfe spoke. Her voice, usually steady and radiant with warmth, trembled just enough for everyone to notice. The interviewer had just asked a simple question, something about Outlander, about how the cast was doing after so many years of working together. But Caitríona hesitated before answering. Her gaze lowered for a moment, and then, softly, she said the words that made headlines around the world. "He's been struggling lately, and I just want people to be kind." It was the kind of sentence that hung in the air long after she said it, fragile, human, and full of unspoken emotion. For a moment, the set was silent. Even the interviewer, known for pushing, didn't dare interrupt. That was the moment fans everywhere knew something was wrong. For nearly a decade, Caitríona Balfe and Sam Heughan had been the beating heart of Outlander. Two people whose chemistry and friendship had carried one of television's most beloved love stories. Through every storm, every rumor, every award season, they had stood side by side, united and unbreakable. They laughed together in interviews, comforted each other during hard times, and became more than just co-stars, they became family. But lately, something had changed. Fans had started to notice that Sam looked different. Tired, a little quieter. His social media posts, once full of energy and humor, had slowed down. At recent events, his smile seemed more guarded. The sparkle in his eyes that fans adored, the spark that made Jamie Fraser come alive, seemed dimmer. Rumors began to swirl online. Some speculated about exhaustion, others about illness, and some about heartbreak. But true fans, the ones who knew Sam's personality through years of interviews, sensed something deeper: emotional fatigue. The kind that comes not from one moment, but from years of carrying the weight of fame, expectations, and endless public scrutiny. Caitríona's words, when they finally came, didn't confirm or deny anything. They didn't need to. Her tone said enough. "He's always the strong one," she continued softly. "Always trying to hold everyone else up. But sometimes, even the strongest need someone to lean on." Her eyes glistened under the lights as she said it. There was no gossip, no scandal, just pure concern. A friend speaking from the heart. And that's what made it hit so hard. Within hours, her quote spread everywhere. Entertainment Tonight. Caitríona Balfe speaks out on Sam Heughan's struggles. Variety. Heartbreaking update. Balfe asks fans to be kind to Heughan. People magazine. She's worried. Caitríona shares honest words about her friend. The response was immediate. Social media flooded with messages of love and support. Fans posted clips of Sam laughing, hugging Caitríona on set, surprising fans at conventions. Moments that reminded everyone why they adored him. Hashtags like #WeLoveYouSam and #StayStrongHeughan began trending worldwide. But behind the wave of support was a quiet sadness, a realization that even the brightest stars sometimes fade behind the scenes. Sam Heughan, the man known for his boundless positivity and Scottish charm, was human too. Caitríona had always admired that about him, his ability to stay grounded through chaos. In past interviews, she'd called him the heartbeat of our show, describing how his energy kept the cast and crew going through long, grueling days. But now, her words painted a different picture. "He gives everything," she said in that same interview. "To his work, to his fans, to everyone. I just hope he remembers to give something back to himself." It wasn't a cry for attention, it was a message of love. And fans understood that instantly. People began to look back at recent months differently. That quiet expression Sam wore at the last premiere wasn't just fatigue. It was the weight of someone who'd been carrying too much for too long. That heartfelt Instagram post about finding balance wasn't just poetic, it was a silent plea for understanding. For years, Sam had given the world his best: endless interviews, conventions, charity work, and performances that demanded his heart and soul. He had smiled through rumors, endured media scrutiny, and played the role of the strong one so convincingly that people forgot he might need help too. Caitríona's words broke that illusion in the gentlest way possible. She just reminded everyone, one journalist wrote, that behind every perfect smile is a person who sometimes hurts. As the clip continued to circulate, fans noticed one more thing: the way Caitríona's voice caught when she spoke about him. It wasn't just professional concern. It was personal. The voice of someone who had seen the unguarded version of Sam, the one hidden from cameras. He's one of the best people I've ever known," she whispered near the end of the interview. "And I think the world forgets that sometimes." The host nodded quietly, not daring to press further. By the time the interview ended, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. And somewhere, across millions of screens, fans watching from home felt the same ache. That mix of love, sadness, and admiration for a man who had given everything to his craft, and for a friend brave enough to remind the world that he's human. As the credits rolled, the interviewer summed it up perfectly. "If Caitríona Balfe is worried, then maybe it's time for all of us to listen." And the world did. The days following Caitríona Balfe's emotional interview felt different, softer, quieter, more human. The noise of gossip had faded, replaced by an overwhelming wave of empathy. Fans didn't argue or speculate. They reached out, creating a chorus of love that spread across every corner of the internet. Under Caitríona's words, "He's been struggling lately, and I just want people to be kind," thousands of comments appeared. Some shared how Sam's work had helped them through their own difficult moments. Others simply wrote, "You're not alone, Sam. We're here." It was more than a celebrity moment. It was a reminder of the connection between artist and audience, the unseen bond forged through years of storytelling. As headlines continued to circulate, journalists began to look deeper. For once, they didn't dig for scandal. They wrote about compassion. Entertainment Weekly published a feature titled, "Caitríona Balfe Reminds Hollywood That Strength Doesn't Mean Silence." The Scotsman described the moment as a rare glimpse of loyalty and love in an industry obsessed with image. Meanwhile, Sam stayed silent, but this time, it didn't feel like avoidance. It felt like reflection. Then, 4 days later, he broke that silence in the simplest, most beautiful way possible. He posted a black and white photo on Instagram, a quiet Scottish landscape at dawn. The caption was short, almost poetic. "Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is rest. Thank you for the kindness. I'm okay, just finding my peace again." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't defensive. It was honest, and it was enough. The post gathered millions of likes within hours. Caitríona herself commented with a small heart emoji, followed by the words, "Always proud of you." Fans burst into tears. The internet, for once, wasn't divided. It was united in love. That single message told the world what they needed to know. Sam wasn't broken. He was healing. And Caitríona's words had given him permission to do so. Over the next few weeks, interviews and articles continued to explore the story, not as gossip, but as inspiration. Mental health organizations even referenced the moment, applauding Caitríona for using her platform to speak out gently but meaningfully about emotional exhaustion and the importance of kindness in fame. Behind the scenes, colleagues shared more glimpses of their friendship. One Outlander crew member wrote on X, "They've always looked out for each other. That's real friendship, not for cameras, but for life." Another shared that Caitríona had been visiting Sam more often lately, helping him disconnect from the chaos of Hollywood and spend time back home in Scotland, where he felt most grounded. People close to them said that the message Caitríona wanted to send wasn't about sadness, it was about care. About reminding fans that even their heroes have limits, and that it's okay to step back. And Sam, being who he is, didn't let that care go unnoticed. In a later podcast appearance, he spoke softly but with clarity. "You know, people think strength means never breaking. But I think real strength is letting people see you when you're not okay, and trusting that they'll still stand by you." The host asked if Caitríona's comments had surprised him. Sam smiled gently. "Not really," he said. "She's always been the one who sees me clearly, even when I can't." It was a simple answer, but fans couldn't help reading the layers of emotion underneath. Years of friendship, loyalty, and shared battles, all wrapped in one sentence. Caitríona, for her part, later explained why she spoke out. In a short interview on the red carpet, she said, "I didn't want to speak for him. I just wanted to remind people that he's human. We all have hard days. He's given so much to everyone. I just thought maybe it was time someone gave something back." That statement captured hearts all over again. Because in an industry where people are quick to criticize, Caitríona had chosen compassion. And in doing so, she showed the world a love that didn't need to be romantic to be powerful. The love between two souls who had weathered storms together and still looked out for each other, no matter what. Weeks later, when Sam finally reappeared in public, fans noticed something different. The exhaustion had softened into calm. His eyes, once shadowed with worry, now carried quiet warmth. When a reporter asked how he was doing, he smiled and said, "Better. I've had time to breathe. And I've been reminded how lucky I am to have people who care." The video of that moment went viral again, not because of drama, but because of the purity of it. In a world that thrives on sensationalism, this was something else, something real. Caitríona shared the clip on her Instagram story with the caption, "He's back. Stronger than ever." And beneath it, a small heart emoji, the same one she'd left on his post weeks earlier. Fans called it the most beautiful ending to a story that had begun in heartbreak. But maybe it wasn't an ending at all, just another reminder that strength isn't about never falling. It's about having someone who reaches out their hand when you do. And as the credits rolled on yet another chapter of Sam and Caitríona's journey, not on screen, but in life, the world finally understood the meaning of her words. She wasn't just giving a sad update. She was showing what love looks like when it's real, patient, protective, and quietly unbreakable.